Grassroots Sessions. I was born in a cage, in a cold and overcrowded place. Every night when I go to sleep, I'd be dreaming of the days when we'd be free. All the things I have seen, I have watched my brothers get thrown into that machine, but no more. The time is now to burn this old prison to the ground. Burn it to the ground, burn it to the ground, till every factory, farm and abattoir is crumbled down. And if you show resistance, if you refuse to change, then I am here to tell you there's a fire on the way. If you change the way we're raised, do you think your conscience will be safe? You can label us as ethical or panic or free range, but in the end, it is all the same. Just another way to send us to our graves. But can't you see it's all the same? We all have a heartbeat and blood coursing through our veins. They'll try to divide us, try to keep us tightly bound. Together we can burn them to the ground. Burn it to the ground, burn it to the ground. Soon the rising embers of compassion will surround your draconian traditions as they're swallowed by the flames. Heed this as a warning, there's a fire on the way. I have come to realize it's the system that's to blame. Wherever there is murder, there is money to be made. All you crooked politicians who commodify our lives, you better pray for your redemption, cause the heat's about to rise. You can try to run, but there is nowhere left to hide. There's a fire on its way to you tonight. Night, so burn it to the ground, burn it to the ground. One day songs of love and liberation will be found and echo through the ages of when the war was won. So strike a match and know that there are better times to come. Let's watch it burn, let's watch it burn, let's watch it burn now, never to return. Let's watch it burn, let's watch it burn, let's watch it burn now, never to return.
Hello, beautiful beings!
Thank you so much for joining us on today's Grassroots Sessions. We would just like to say a massive thank you to our amazing patrons for making these videos possible. If you'd like to become a patron of our channel, then please check out the link below. And if you enjoyed today's song, please pop a quid in our virtual hat via the link below. And yes, we're joined by an incredible being this week. Mr. Chris Mather has joined us. He's a beautiful being, and this is actually our first collaboration on Grassroots. And yeah, what an honour to be sharing it with you.
Yeah, what an honour, what an honour for me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Amazing.
guys.
Chris is a magnificent being, and we're sat right now in Sacred Space. This is an amazing 100% vegan cafe and vegan tattoo studio in Hebden Bridge. So come down and check it out. And Chris and his amazing partner Mel both work here and make this happen. And you might recognise the painting from behind. Mel painted this, didn't she?
She did.
And she also painted our Hemp Redemption stage. Yes. She's very talented.
Today's song is called Burn It to the Ground. And yeah, we'd like to ask Chris some questions about that. This is our first interview for Grassroots Sessions, so please bear with us.
So, Chris, when did you write the song and what inspired you to write it?
To answer your question, when was Hemp Redemption?
August the 8th, on our birthday.
So I wrote, it was.
Sorry, I had to slip that in.
So I wrote the song literally before Hemp Redemption. I've been listening to Mobius and a few other artists, but mainly these guys, and realising that the stuff that I was writing before was, I've been inspired for many years from like English and Irish folk music, and I was writing kind of contemporary songs, mainly about kind of like relationships and family and other stuff like that. And over the years, I've kind of realised that I wanted to my songs to have a kind of greater message, but couldn't quite realise what that was. And then, I'm not just saying this because I'm sat here with these guys now, but I started listening to Mobius Loop, and then that kind of connected a few dots for me. So I kind of wanted to have songs that were sort of inspired predominantly on kind of the liberation of animals and all beings, and kind of wanted to spread that sort of message of kind of unity that we're no different to any other sentient being. So I didn't have any material at this point. I just knew that I wanted to write this album, which I'm still working on. And the first song that came out, I was playing guitar, and I picked up a banjo. I didn't really know what I was doing, but then just started singing this "Burn It to the Ground" refrain without even realising what I was. It was just kind of like an organic, sing song on my own. And then before I knew it, the lyrics started resonating. I started thinking, what would I want to be burnt to the ground? And then it was this idea of like the slavery of all these sentient beings that are now currently in slavery. And I as I wrote it, it became kind of more and more anthemic. And then I realised that I wanted to write an album. I'm not sure if it'll end up being this way now, but an album of anthems, or at least ballads and anthems, all sang from a non-human animal perspective. So not because there's so many like human songs. There's so many songs that we all sing that are great, but they're from a human perspective. Because I spend a lot of time with animals, because we'll get onto this, but because we also run an animal sanctuary.
That's another reason why you should really come and support Sacred Space in Hebden, because Chris and his partner Mel and Emily, Mel's sister, they rescue and help so many birds and other creatures, and you guys are just phenomenal for putting it into the living action, and they're literally rescuing birds daily, and they never turn birds away, and you're just such amazingly empathetic, beautiful beings. So that's another reason to support Sacred Space. And sorry, what were you saying?
No, thank you. I mean, it is. I'll come on to the rescue in a minute, because there's quite a lot to talk about there. But so I think because I spend so much time with birds, predominantly birds, but all kinds of animals that get brought to us in these dire situations, and sometimes it's something in the wild that's happened. Sometimes it's human intervention, hit by a car, or we live with a turkey, Joey the turkey, and we rescued him a couple of Christmases ago from slaughter. It was Mel actually who actioned that, and she's just such an incredible advocate and warrior for animals. And every day I hang out with Joey, who was my non-biological son, and I kind of thought, what would Joey want to sing? What would these animals? I live with Ayla, who was an ex-battery hen who sadly we lost last year. But what would she want to say? And then gradually the song kind of formed itself. I didn't really write it. It felt like I was sort of channeling this voice, and then obviously it's still coming from a human, but I'm not trying to say I understand what animals go through, because I've absolutely no idea other than that.
I love that it's written from an animal's perspective, and like just the first lyric, "I was born in a cage," is just like hits you right there. And then one of the reasons I wanted to collaborate with Chris on the song is because it's such a powerful song, and the lyrics are so beautiful, and like you say, it really is an anthem to sing, "Burn It to the Ground," because it's coming from an abolitionist perspective. If we want to see an end to animal slavery, and then the way to do that really is to get rid of these slaughterhouses, get rid of these factory farms, like you say.
And it's not even, the song's very clever in that it's not a human singing "Burn It to the Ground," it's the animal in the cage singing it. And that's what empathy truly is. It's imagining someone else is suffering, and in this instance, it's the animals in these cages, isn't it?
Exactly. And it was kind of like, once I'd gotten that, and then I wrote the song, and then I thought about, well, obviously saying like what at the end the refrain is like, in which I kind of picture everyone dancing in this kind of euphoric, it's happened, let's watch it burn, never to return. it's because you're singing from an animal's perspective, and everyone relates to that protagonist of the animal. But I'm also trying to say that the animals can't do that. A battery hen cannot put on, grab a match and burn it and liberate all their sisters and brothers. Sadly, so we need to be that advocate. And I'd say I'm not advocating burning down the factory farm. You can take it literally or figuratively because something needs to change. And it came from kind of a frustrated place. But by the time I'd finished it, it felt more positive. And that wasn't deliberate. I was really angry when I was writing it because, obviously I was thinking about all the horrible things that, that the line, and I've watched my brothers get thrown into that machine is, I know you guys have touched on this in your songs and videos, I think before I've heard you talk about that chicks that literally days old are gendered, and if they're a boy, they're thrown on a conveyor belt and they go into a macerator.
Totally conscious and alive.
Conscious, alive,
So
beautiful
good.
birds, like beautiful, kind, as innocent as you could possibly get. And that was a lot of anger in there. But by the end of it, I didn't want it to be this like hopeless hymn.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be like an anthem. So yeah.
A lot of people don't realise that you don't have to physically go and burn down a slaughterhouse to put an end to this treatment of animals, because you can literally stop funding it. You can just never buy eggs or chickens ever again, because a lot of people aren't aware that just by buying eggs is funding the treatment of chicks. Like you say, in the egg industry, all the male chicks they're either gassed alive or they're thrown into this macerator, which is basically a blender, and that happens in UK standard practice. It's just what they do with the boys, and we can just stop funding that today, and all the other industries, like you say, the meat and the dairy, when we give these industries our money, we fund that treatment of animals. And for us, that's why we really wanted to collaborate on this song, because it's not often we hear a song that speaks to us like that. And when you sang it at Hem Redemption Festival, we were just like, it's got this real protest vibe to it, hasn't it? And it just, like you say, the anthem of it, like, it really kind of invokes this passion of like, let's put a stop to this now.
Yeah, it was like, it's like you see. When I performed it at the festival, that was the first time that I performed it, and it felt right. So yeah, thank you for having me there. Redemption Festival.
And hopefully it'll be at Hem Redemption
I'd
Festival
love to.
2021.
I've got loads more songs. Like I say, I performed under the name Sweet Goose, and I didn't. For a long time I've been playing these folk songs. I've got all these old songs, but now I have this direction. I don't know where it'll go from here, but I'm really excited now because I've got these other songs. So.
We're really
you guys have
excited
kind of ignited this spark in me.
That's so great to
You're
hear.
such a massive inspiration to be able to play with these guys.
Honestly, like
a dream.
As songwriters, we understand your life is very much based around starting and running this incredible place, Sacred Space. I think the only vegan place in Hebden Bridge right now, is it?
Fully vegan in Hebden Bridge.
And then when they go home, they're literally tending to, healing and rescuing so many wildlife around here.
They're up all through the night, feeding birds, administering painkillers, rehabilitating birds, letting them back into the wild.
So to then write songs, it just seems so authentic to us, doesn't it? Like, you were so close to the pain and suffering, and you see it every day. And to share our platform with you is an absolute honour for us. We feel really blessed that we gelled on the song together.
Yeah.
And it really is.
And it was really fun.
It was fun, wasn't it? All the rehearsals and the actual live take.
It's good.
It was wonderful, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah.
What music are you inspired by then?
It's weird. I know every musician that you say what kind of stuff, and like everything. Yeah. Not everything, but I mean, I think a lot of the stuff that I play comes from a kind of folk background. I listen to a lot of electronic music and like experimental music and stuff as well as kind of meditative music. And I guess what comes through mainly is that kind of folk element. I've got an Irish family, lots of Irish musicians, and who play all these jigs and reels and stuff, which is I really love that kind of music. Yeah. And it's funny, like, I've been listening to a lot of it and on the banjo, learning all these songs, and they've all got this kind of like, not all, but a lot of them have this like strange history. Like, there's these all banjo songs. There's one called Put Another, I'm not going to say, but all these kind of like really anti-animal kind of songs.
Right.
So then it felt even more organic, or not organic, but more right to kind of reclaim the banjo, and not just the banjo, but like that type of folk music, and use it. I know that there are lots of people that are doing that, but it felt right to me as an individual to kind of fight forward with that.
Yeah, bring your family's tradition forwards into new contexts and stuff like that. Yeah, which is what it was always about. Songwriting, the stories of our time, isn't it? It's what really inspires us, and that's why we love this song.
And I think it's like living through like you say, it's a generational thing, and I like the idea of folk songs being anthems or songs that get passed around. So like you know, like with Male Beings Be and you know, your guys' song, I feel that could be sang hundreds of, hopefully in a kind of context looking back and feeling free that everything is liberated.
Question 2, when did Sacred Space start and what is it about?
So this is always quite hard to explain, because Sacred Space, essentially, like you walk through the doors, in this space where we are now, you can see a section of it, is currently an art space, it's a tattoo studio, and it's a fully vegan restaurant as well. So it's constantly evolving as well. Like we want it to open up as a music venue at some point, you know, like that's kind of the whole idea. And the opening this was it to be like this big creative hub, spreading this kind of like love and this vegan message.
We can't wait to play.
Yeah, I'm going to say I've already begged you guys, please play.
We'll
Come on, play.
We're like begging back, please let us play.
So that's the idea. It's just like, but essentially everything that we do, whether it be a music night or you know the day-to-day of serving vegan coffee and cake and burgers and things. Obviously, you know that's fun and we love to do that, but it all funds, it's always for the birds, you know, everything that we do is for the birds. I say birds, we get other animals too, but generally we get injured birds.
You guys are so inspiring with that, and I just wanted to tell everyone that we're going to link below that you guys have got a Patreon for the birds, haven't you?
We have,
and we are proud supporters of the Patreon because we're just so proud of you guys. And if you have anything to spare, please support these guys that actually
they're working
on the ground
relentless
every day rescuing animals. It's
really
absolutely amazing. You're just such inspiring people in what you do for these animals. So please do support that. Patreon if you can.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if anyone does, or even share it, because not everyone's in that position. So just share the page or one of our videos. We've got some videos of the bird rescue work that we do that maybe we can link in the description as well. And I've made a couple of just basic videos that show you like a week or a couple of weeks in the life of a busy vegan bird rescue sanctuary. In the past 2 months, we do all this from home in just a small sort of terrace house, and we've had nearly 200 birds brought to us. Nearly over 100 birds. I haven't got the exact tally in my head, but over 100 somewhere.
Incredible.
And obviously all come in different ways. And what our main goal is with Sacred Spaces, and what we're driving for the future with, is to have a space with land, because we're currently a disabled bird sanctuary as well. A lot of birds that are brought to us in really poor condition, maybe neurological issues or feather disease. You know, you can have certain feather disease and disorders that prevent them going straight into the wild. You know, lots of different situations. We want to be the hub for those disabled birds, because vets and other sanctuaries say put to sleep, but they can actually live full, rich lives. They just need someone to have that time, and we want to be the people who give them that chance of life.
That's amazing.
That's another.
If anyone deserves that land, you do. They're working so tirelessly for these animals, and
we'll get
and they were doing it anyway. You guys were literally doing it anyway. So any support that goes to them will just make it easier. But you guys are doing that work anyway.
Yeah, we'll always do.
You'll get that land. You'll get those buildings for the animals.
Yeah.
It'd be lovely. That's our kind of end goal. But no matter where we are, you know, whether we're living in a one-bedroom flat or we're living in a mansion, we're always going to be rescuing birds. So yeah.
So, how long have you been vegan, Chris?
I've been vegan not long enough is the answer. Unfortunately,
as well.
I've been vegan for nearly a rough estimate about 4 years, something like that. As vegetarian for the animals, I say that in quote marks because I was vegetarian for a long time, but always loved animals. from maybe before my 20s or maybe early. I can't even remember. I was in my teens, and then I had a little lapse, and then vegetarian, which is by the by anyway. And then I learned what we discussed earlier on about what happens to male chicks, and felt physically sick. And then pretty much instantly, I think I held on to cheese for about a week, and my partner Mel, who's done all this beautiful artwork, and she did the artwork on Your Lovely Home as well. She just basically told me more of what happened and encouraged me by Emily got me, it was Emily actually who got me a stack of vegan cheeses to kind of, they told me what was going on, and they kind of gave me the straight and narrow, but they also sort of had a helping hand as well.
Because it does take time sometimes to make those changes and those transitions, and a song like this can really inspire those changes, because we personally want to do all of our teaching people in really loving ways, that because like we were saying, we all ate animals one time, and it takes time to make these adjustments in a society where everyone eats animals as if it's normal. It takes time for people to kind of readjust the way that they think about animals and the way that we pay people to treat them. And one thing that I would definitely encourage people to do, if you want to know more about how animals are treated in the UK, is there's a film on YouTube called The Land of Hope and Glory, and it's not something you want to watch with children, and it's it's basically footage from inside UK slaughterhouses, and all it does is just shows UK standard practices, and if it's something that we fund with our money by buying meat or dairy or eggs, then I think it's a real obligation to go and see what happens to these animals in the slaughterhouses, and to see whether it's something that we want to fund and support. And I think once you've looked at that, maybe make a decision as to whether it's something you want to fund. But we're all coming from a place of real compassion and love, and wanting to support people on the journey towards eating less animals and paying for less animals to be treated in this way.
I think it's so amazing how much Chris has done in 4 years of being vegan. This is the second shop, isn't it?
It's the second shop. I mean, I've said this and I'll say it again, but a lot of this is attributed towards my partner Mel and her sister Emily.
They're amazing.
They're like
amazing sisters.
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to watch this and probably like, but she. I mean, she's literally like the biggest inspiration. I mean, I stopped playing music for a long time, and she encouraged me to do that. She just wants the best for everyone, including, predominantly animals and birds. I mean, she's an amazing, and Emily as well, both amazing warriors and sisters who fight for the animals. And I know full well that I wouldn't have got to this journey as fast, at least, if it wasn't for those two. So I definitely can't take really much credit for the beginning. They were like the they were the elevator, if you will, to where I am now.
I mean, they've just dedicated their lives so much to animals, haven't they? Like yourself, where they're literally right there, right now, aren't they? Looking after birds, and every single day, that's what they're dedicated to. It's what you're dedicated to. And we just feel like totally in awe of you guys. As much as we try and do for animals, we're just doing nowhere near the amount you guys are. So it's such a you're just inspiring so many people in so many different ways, with the activism, with the living action, and with the music as well. On it.
It's great, because obviously my partner Mel is an artist, and you can check her. I don't know how many links we're like to put.
As many as we need.
Is that alright?
So we've been plugging Mel's work all around Europe, because she's on the side of the van, and everyone asks who painted that, and we're always telling people about Mel and how we met. Honestly, we went in a tattoo studio before. I've never seen so much incredible work, and she just makes you in awe, because you're like, how have you got time to make all these paintings, rescue all these birds, like all the tattoos she's doing, like, oh my god, in awe, and like what a prolific artist she is.
She's amazing. I mean, she channels it all, and the artwork that she does as well is a lot of it is sort of like themed around birds and veganism and stuff like that, and kind of connected with nature and stuff. So you should check out her stuff. And I'm plugging away, but I think even if you don't check out my song, check out Mel's song.
Well, he's got an amazing recording of the song that he's been too humble about, and he's saying it's not good enough and he wants to record it again, but it was a home
recording though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was a home recording.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
Oh, thank you guys.
It's on SoundCloud, and it's linked below, so share it, and sing it loud, play it loud,
sharing it.
put it on repeat.
Great. Learn it if you're playing instrument. Learn it and sing it. That's the whole point.
It's in G minor.
It's in G minor.
Always helps. So I was about to say, how can people listen to your music?
So I've got
Yeah.
you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. I think Instagram Sweet Goose Music and Facebook is Sweet Goose. Probably put more links in this ever-growing list of links. SoundCloud as well. I've got loads of songs kind of in the process of nearly being finished. So I imagine if you go and follow that over the next month or so, there'll be a couple more tracks as well as the song you heard, Burn It to the Ground, get added to it as well.
Yeah.
And then hopefully, fingers crossed, if all things goes to plan, sort of like late summer, I'll have an EP to release.
Fantastic.
It'd be cool.
Yeah,
That's
can't
so
wait.
exciting.
And there's
I
so
just
many
wanted to-
vegan festivals starting up now that I'm sure
Yeah,
you're going to be
it's
super
been
busy.
amazing.
There's going to be
Yeah.
touring then, raising the
Yeah.
money for the sanctuary with it.
Yeah.
It's going to be fantastic. One last question.
Yeah.
How can people support Sacred Space?
So we actually have a website now. So we didn't for years, but we've got a lovely website which is sacredSpaceRescue.co.uk.
Nice.
Another link in
The
the
last
description.
link
The
below.
last link below. That has got everything on, so you can look if you're in the area, if you wanted to come and get some food. It's got full menus and everything on there. Obviously, everything's 100% vegan. And there's also a section which is the whole donate section if you want to see the work we do with the birds and you just want to either join our Patreon or you can support our GoFundMe, which is where we're saving up for land. It's all in there anyway. Have a read through, have a look through the pictures and videos and you'll get an idea of what we do. If you can donate, amazing. If you can't, and you just can share it, that's equally as amazing.
Or come in for a brew.
Come in for a
It
brew
all
and a
helps,
chat.
doesn't it?
We love meeting people as
Yeah.
well. There's financial support, which is great. But in a vegan community, when you do rescue work, just meeting a couple of friendly faces and people that just say, just get it and have a chat with you. So come in and say hello. Drop us a message and say hello. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Really,
Yeah.
creating a community. So whichever way you can support us, that's amazing. But definitely say hi. So.
Thank you.
Thank you
And
very much.
didn't Joey Carbstrong come in last year? Meet Joey
Oh
the
yeah,
turkey?
yeah. Lots of cool things have happened while I've been opened up. So Mel reached out to Joey Carbstrong and sort of said what we did and just would he be interested in coming down and saying hi, and I weren't really expecting to be featured as a video and things. It mainly just sort of saying what we did and see if he wanted to meet us, and we knew he was sort of in the area. And a long story short, he get straight back to us and said, so like I mentioned earlier, we rescued Joey the turkey last year. Obviously Joey Carbstrong, Joey and Joey, he liked the idea of coming meeting him and supporting us. He's a great advocate for the animals, and he came down to the cafe in here and we had some food with him, we had a day with him, and we talked about the work he'd been doing, kind of basic raising awareness of the vegan movement, revolution, and then vice versa, with us at kind of like a more grassroots level, and it was just a nice day, and then he put us on his got quite a successful YouTube channel with all these people following. That created loads more people coming through and getting to know what we do. So that was really lovely of Joey to give us that kind of spotlight. And we're still in touch now. We still speak to him and from time to time when he's a very busy man. But lovely. And he'll be at Vegan Camp Out with you guys, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So
this year,
and hopefully you guys.
So
will be there
hopefully,
too.
if we get to go down, we'll all get to be reunited in one little space. And
Maybe Joey the turkey can come.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Maybe not. Might be a bit much for him.
Might be a bit far. I mean, he'd outshine everyone at the festival as well.
Yeah.
Be displaying with his beautiful, his colours and
Such
everything.
a beautiful bird.
He's a gorgeous boy.
Yeah. We remember when our son Zaya went to meet him, and our son he was young then, maybe like 1 year old, and they started talking to each other, didn't they, in turkey language.
It was really primal, I feel like he could understand things Joey was saying, and Zaya
then he was
could,
making the sounds back, wasn't he?
Yeah, they were having this really primal conversation, and me and Mel and these guys were just watching, and it was amazing. Makes me wonder if when you're younger you can kind of can have that animalistic kind of that's a word,
I'd love for them to meet again actually and see how he is with them.
Maybe he just has the ability.
He might be Dr. Doolittle.
Could be. We'll have to get him, and you guys will have to come up anyway.
Good. What would you do if you were going to die tomorrow? What would you do tonight?
If today was my last day on Earth, I think I would have an evening with all the birds, tell all the birds that I love them, and then I go up to the hill with the best people that I know, and me, Mel and Emily would go up to the tops of the hills overlooking the valley, and we'd watch the sunset, we'd play some music, and we'd just try and feel as relaxed and at peace as we possibly can.
So beautiful.
anyway. Yeah.
You better do that now.
Yeah.
I might just do that anyway.
Yeah. No need for comment.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris,
Thank
for
you.
joining us
Thank you,
today.
guys.
What a
Yeah.
pleasure and
Thank
an
you very
honour.
much.
Oh,
And this is
guys.
the first of many, I hope.
Thank you,
First of
Katie.
many
Definitely.
collaborations, and he's such an honour, man.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah.
Thank you
And
for making
for
this
you guys
happen.
at home, if you enjoyed today's song, please pop a quid in our virtual hat, and all the donations for this show are going to go towards Sacred Space Sanctuary. So, and also another amazing thank you to our incredible patrons
Yes.
for making these videos happen. We're really grateful to you guys,
Thank you.
and we've got many more grassroots sessions to come. So, see you next time.
Thank you for watching.
Mwah, mwah.
May all beings be free from slavery. May every cage be open and empty. May all beings be free from slavery. May every cage be open and empty. May all beings be free from slavery. May every cage be open and empty. May all beings be free from slavery. May every cage be open and empty.
Grassroots Sessions is made possible by our wonderful patrons who support us on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of you beautiful beings.
Please join our Patreon today to help us create more videos. Donations are also very welcome here.